This week in Artificially Informed, a boring compliance app lands on a $180 million bet. The government bans an AI model for 3 weeks, then changes its mind. And then maybe changes its mind again? Question mark? An AI model, a decades old trick outsmarts 10 AI safety regards. So 10-year-old trick tricking the most modern technology, and free AI glasses give 130,000 blind veterans their independence back. This and more in this week's edition of Artificially Informed. I'm your host, Logan Edmonds with TTS Cyber.
And I'm Patrick Herter, founder of Your Network Security.
Let's get into it, Patrick. So this week, happy 4th of July. For those of you who are normally seeing us on Friday, yeah, we have a life outside of work. We want to take 4th of July off too. So you're getting a Thursday edition.
Woo! And happy Friday and Saturday to all you in the Canadian realm.
They're saying, what's a bootess, eh? No, I'm just kidding. I love you. We love you, Canucks. This week is honestly a little more, for a shorter week, a lot is happening. And a lot of things, I don't want to say we're fortune tellers, but I'm really feeling kind of good about the accuracy of our fortune telling on the show. We've been very consistent over the last 4 months, and more often than not, our predictions are starting to pan out in the real world, which is both kind of cool, but also kind of sad.
Yeah, a little bit of mix, but I'm glad we aren't all doom and gloom. So that's encouraging.
Well, let's talk about the will she, won't she relationship the government has with Anthropic, because context, the headline here is the government banned an AI model for 3 weeks. Then it changed its mind. Patrick, talk about Anthropic. Talk about Fable and Mythos. What exactly happened and where are we now?
Yep. So prior to June, Anthropic had publicly disclosed some results with their Mythos model with some security researchers and several banks, talking about how accurate and fast it was able to find exploits in the wild and leverage attacks against them, leading a lot of people to fear that, hey, if this becomes a public model, how well protected are we against it just going crazy on the attacker side of the aisle?
There was more than that, though, because we also know there were certain big multi-billion-dollar companies in putting their thumb on the scale with advising the government on, I won't say inaccurate data, but maybe a little bit of biased data. Yeah. That was a factor here. Questionable. Questionable.
And that led in when they held off on its release, but then when they branded it as Fable, and in early June publicly released it, everybody got excited, started pushing the code out there. The government
for 3 days. For 3 days.
Yeah, we all got our hands on it. There was loads of YouTube videos out there on all the things that it was able to do, start to finish, getting code work done very accurately, overall very quickly as well. But then the government said, we need you to pause on that because we think that this is going to be the same thing as Mythos and be used on the bad side of the aisle. And they
like my high school dating life before my now ex-girlfriends remembered their ex-boyfriends. It was a wonderful 3 days of romance, and then poof, off they go. It really did. But seriously, I mean, there was a lot of drama on this, guys. First off, it was Amazon allegedly that dropped the dime, if you will, on Anthropic, and supposedly you can jailbreak everything, which we're going to talk about. There's actually a whole bunch in this article about jailbreaking AI guard prompts. But to those you don't know, Amazon is a huge investor in OpenAI. So was their intentions honorable? You be the judge of that.
All right. So that's the background. But now we are here in July, and guess what's back, baby? It's
for 1 week. I swear they just keep giving it and they take it, because they're giving me notices now. July 7th, which is 4th to Saturday, 5th to Tuesday. Fable's
Yep.
gone again unless you have the API access on developer. So like, and you can use like Cursor or Claude Code and Terminal through their Teams or enterprise applications.
It
Um,
feels bureaucratic, doesn't it?
it really does. And honestly, it feels weird all around. Like we talked about this before we went live in our green screening. I was playing Fable last night. And I will say this, every time I tried to stick it on anything related to like, hey, my code, especially for coding, like, hey, I like to lock down this section of code a little more and tighten it up with security guardrails. Oh, we can't do that because it had the word cybersecurity in it. Immediately downgrade to Opus 4.8, right? Like you can see the skittishness. It was not doing that, Patrick, before this whole
Right.
saga went down. Anthropic definitely put a little bit of training wheels on it.
A lot more.
I
I
mean,
think in the bubble.
we're going to talk more in technology about this, but there's a broader question for all the AI companies of now the AI models are getting so good on the security and biology side. I mean, biology is a factor we don't talk a lot about either, but seriously, for synthesizing certain molecules and chemical compounds, that, yeah, we're going to get into that. Before we do, let's talk about our advertising piece today, which is our Inside the Stack series. So, for those of you who aren't aware, I'm going to go ahead and throw up our stuff on the thing. You can have the best security in the world, and this is not a new problem. You know, the number one thing that can derail even the greatest security programs on the planet? A careless human individual who does not care about the greatest security program on the planet. It is time honored true. The headline for this week is the biggest threat to your business already has a badge. And every business owner, I think, at this point knows either they are doing it or they should be doing it. Basic stuff, right? Put a firewall in, put some backups for my core data. My insurance says I got to do this thing called MFA, right? And so more and more of them are realizing they need to apply a security baseline to their business. Here's the challenge: that same computer that all their client information, all their financials lives on, when the business owner or the executive isn't looking, their employees are checking their personal Gmail accounts, clicking God knows what inside of them. They are going on personal websites. They're going to things like Dropbox and Box.com. They're using their personal lives without certain guardrails in place. They are absolutely doing personal stuff that can expose your business to problems that you never should have inherited. So we call it in our online work shadow IT. We call it shadow IT. We call it the separate set of applications and platforms that employees work on that aren't business approved, either personal or business use. And yeah, IT teams have known this has been a problem for years. But new research from the Verizon Data Breach Investigations Report found that 68% of breaches now involve the human element. Not a zero-day exploit or a brute force, I guess your password attack. The humans doing something they shouldn't do, like logging into a personal account from a work laptop, saving a work password in a browser full of already personal logins, or uploading a file to a faster but unapproved storage app like Dropbox, Box. You pick your choice, right? And so each one creates a connection between personal habits and business systems, and it sits completely outside of traditional IT and service providers' visibility. They have no way to govern that. Okay, so what are you supposed to do, right? Well, the first thing in everything, and what I'm a big believer in, is having the data to make good decisions. We espouse Colin Powell's 40-70 rule around here, Patrick, which is you need 40 to 70% of good data in order to make the good decision. So how do you get there? We're offering a special promotion for our listeners. If you scan the QR code right above Patrick's head on the right-hand side for my visibility, it'll take you to our cybersecurity and IT risk analysis. This is a one-time analysis. It takes 15 minutes. It does an automated level 1 penetration test and vulnerability scan of your core systems and SaaS applications. And to sweeten the deal, you can use promo code RISK50 in the comments below to get $50 discount off your analysis. This is done by security analysts. This is not automated. We actually have a security analyst review the findings and put together a custom packet of here's what we found, here's what we recommend, all for one low cost, one time. Again, promo code RISK50, QR codes in the top right-hand corner. All right, let's get back to it. So, diving into our next article, I said we took a little pause from a bigger conversation, but it is definitely continuing with OpenAI is now starting to sound the wells of we too have a world-class cybersecurity busting AI machine. And OpenAI's model is named after the sun. There's a headline this. Its newest model is named after the sun, but almost nobody can see it. So right now, OpenAI is moving into its enterprise fields. And similar to the other companies, Anthropic's got Mythos, Opus, Sonnet, Haiku. OpenAI is standardizing in order of performance of its Soul, its Terra, and its Luna. Soul being the premium Cadillac, most powerful AI model, Terra being middle of the road, and Luna being cheap and fast. And Soul, by all accounts, right, they're doing the same thing. It's good at cracking cybersecurity problems. But unlike Anthropic, OpenAI is taking a really proactive approach to making sure they don't get banhammered by the government. For now, it's only available through its API and the Codex, which is OpenAI's coding platform, to a small group of vetted organizations. A decision OpenAI says it made at the government's request, while a formal review process for releasing powerful new models gets worked out. Broader availability is expected in the coming weeks. Please, Mr. Government, tell us what we should do to not get shut down with national restrictions. This is the new thing, right? We knew that gate was going to open at Anthropic, and now all the AI companies are terrified of releasing new models. So we've been talking about two things on the prediction side, Patrick. One, we've been predicting, Mythos has been crowning for months. We're like, look, they're all going to get there, guys. All the AI models are going to get there. They're just a little bit behind, but they'll catch up. We're here. OpenAI is getting to that point. Other models are getting to that point. It's becoming a real problem. But there is no rules of the road, as far as I can tell, yet. I mean, there's proposed stuff in terms of how do I put out this multi-billion-dollar product without having to risk it just being yanked off the market? Again, will she, won't she?
Right. I don't know. Call me a little bit cynical. Is how much of this is also attempting to just grab some of the headline? Like, ooh, look at this. We've developed one just as strong that it needs to be reined in as well. I'm not saying that that's not great. I'm not saying that's not great, but
yeah, I mean, I don't think. I think it's one of what's the saying? Never let a good crisis go to waste. Like
right.
there is a legit crisis around this in terms of AI companies, but I definitely am seeing the marketing teams going, well, at least we can spin this for a silver lining. Like I think it's both, right? Like that is absolutely true. And the thing I keep coming back to is the people who are supposed to regulate this have no idea what they're regulating. Like this is not a far reach, guys. Like we have people in their 70s and 80s who've never worked in computer science now citing the fates of these very powerful models based on what other competitors. Back to my original point, Anthropic, right? Like Amazon, who is definitely at the very least not unbiased. I will say that at the very least not unbiased, is leaning on tapping on the government's shoulder and telling them what they should do based on their quote unquote expertise. There is no independent referee that I'm seeing in this game, and there is no one here saying reasonably what can we do. Because the honest answer, as we'll talk about in our next article, I believe it is, or the one after this one, and our security section, there may not be a lot we can do.
Right. We could always ask the Pope.
The Pope is giving practical common sense for AI governance in the world, and we can't get like this is the Matrix glitched. That's all I can think of over and over when I think of this. Like it literally did. Like this is I have a friend. He says this all the time. After 10 years of listening to him, I'm like, yeah, that's fair. He's like, this is the dumbest timeline. Is his tagline? And I'm starting to really resonate with that. For 10 years, like this is the dumbest timeline. Oh man. Well, I don't know where this ends. I really don't. I don't see a way that our current politicians can intelligently regulate and predict threats on this, right? Like, I think that taking it in an export ban was a bad move, but what else are they supposed to do, right? Like, what are we going to do? And here's the thing we could say shut it all down. That's not going to stop China from 6 months from now putting out their models that can do the exact same thing on the internet.
That is true.
Like,
that is true.
Just saying don't deal with it. I think there's a lot of people like we just don't want to deal with it anymore. Like make it stop. And it's like we can't because we're not the only players in the game here in the United States. The other powers that be were not that far behind. They will have this will be a problem we will be forced to grapple with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Speaking of grappling with problems, one of the things that in compliance is a real challenge is sales. I mean, you and I know this. You got to go to where your customer's at. And that can be in a plethora of online forums. Everything from from WhatsApp to iMessage. There is, of course, still traditional email, social media accounts, even Signal. I have some customers now and partners that are on Signal, right? And we go to them and talk with them where they're comfortable at. Slack's another example of that. And so there's actually a company that said, hey, we need a way to tie all that together so we can put compliance controls, and especially in regulated industries, think finance, think government, right? And yeah, they're boring. Like this is a compliance app. It's very boring, but apparently it's doing pretty well because as of this week, what caught my eye on this one. So I'll read the headline. The boring compliance app just became a $180 million bet. The company in question is called Leap Expert. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And here's what caught my eye. Their previous funding, 20 million Series A. 22 million Series A. 20 million Series B. 180 million growth round. That is a massive jump in capital. Looking at the, I don't know. Looking at this, I think that this is data. This is a data play. We are big believers here, Patrick. I think you are too. Operational layer is where AI has got the most value right now. You can pull data from multiple sources and really paint a picture that previously was just not possible.
Right.
I see that tied into this where, hey, we have all this data and all these places you can communicate. And now with AI, we can pull it all together into easy to understand. What do you think? What's the value
Well,
there?
well, that's the hard thing to really peg how these investments are going to play out, because as AI continues to advance so rapidly, it you sit there and you question what's the long-term value of this startup or that startup and the thing that their differentiator, that their special skill. When you could even look at this, I don't think it's quite to this stage yet, but you go, maybe I could just package this in an AI skill and sell the skill to do this rather than selling a whole platform or public thing on it, and that devalues potentially these things. Even AI's advancement to the average user used to be prompt engineering. They were talking about creating college degrees for prompt engineering, and nowadays AI is able to pick up most of the time a
Agentic,
pretty
man. Agentic, baby. We shouldn't have to prompt to make things happen. I know. That's
exactly. And
insane.
how far does that go?
I mean,
Which
one
is
of the things someone told me yesterday, this is true, and I think this is where it's tied into. This is Logan's personal theory. I want to call it personal conspiracy corner over here, but it's not really a conspiracy. It's just I have a thesis. So previously, to get AI models as good as they are now, it's a well-known fact that all the AI companies basically pirated the internet, right? Like they took everything, they scraped Reddit, they went on on Pirate Bay and downloaded as much as they could, and they had to feed that because large language models need massive amounts of data to train on to get good enough to be usable in the real world, right? And
Mhm.
so the theory I heard someone talking, they're in a business model that's trying to monetize this. So I think this might be the same play, is that these companies have gotten big enough and old enough now they're tired of being sued. Like the litigation costs are actually starting to add up, and especially like you might still find some scrappy, you know, I have no money and I'm willing to roll the dice on whatever I need to do to get my model off the ground. Companies, most of the AI companies and products are looking for licensed data now, and there's a gold mine for the next 2 or 3 years where people who have these giant troves of data that have previously been untouched and now sell that and give that to the AI companies at a really good premium because it's a win-win. They want that. It's a precious resource to them. And what I saw about this product was it ties a lot of non-traditional data centers together. I think, SMS, WhatsApp, like you're pulling all these threads. And now you have a giant repository of data that previously would not have been in a data warehouse where it's structured and easily indexable. Like I don't index my text messages. I don't index my LinkedIn messages, right? Like that's orphaned off data, but that's got really invaluable insight. That's how I get deals done.
100%. Yeah.
That's what I saw.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think
So that's
that's the $180 million price tag right there. I figured it out.
right. Yeah, there's definitely a window, and I was talking to somebody else about this, of value for these kind of startups that can leverage AI, package them, and deliver them already kind of done, ready for you. And I think that's going to be good for at least some time.
Yeah.
So
I think we have a good window here. Like on all things, there's a window. I think there's like a 2 to 5 year window here where data is going to be premium as long as the AI bubble doesn't completely burst, and
right.
that's going to be talk about
Yeah.
passive revenue just by hey, I exist. Here's something that's valuable. Like, wow. Speaking of I exist and here's something valuable, talk about this headline. A decades old computer trick just outsmarted 10 AI safety guards.
And talk
So,
about needles that could poke a hole in a bubble.
oh my gosh. Okay, when we talk about AI safety guards, first explain to our audience, we touched on this in a couple of our articles. What does that mean from a large language model perspective?
Yeah, so because you don't look at the code right away, it's kind of like looking at the matrix. You don't see this beyond maybe blonde, redhead, whatever. But you have to have some sort of a way to tell the AI model to not do certain things. So we are call these guardrails. They're not really coded per se, but they're
They're
advised.
trained. They're
Yeah,
trained on to do it. Yes,
and
that's the
and
word.
if I don't know if you're a Pirates of the Caribbean fan, but one of my favorite lines from that movie is like, oh, "It's more like a set of guidelines, anyway." You know, parlay.
Twing, twing. I like here because the guy in the corner. Oh, I guess that means we're just gonna skip the. No, yeah, no, I can put Pirates of the Caribbean all day.
So yeah, that's kind of how people poke at and try to get around these guardrails. Is like, oh, can I do this in a foreign language? Can I tell it I'm going to encrypt this and I need it to decrypt it for me so that by the time what I really want AI to do is evaluated, it's gone past the guardrail, past the safety net, and now it's just going to do whatever it is that I ask it to do on the other side of the guardrail or the gate. And some people have found some old-fashioned ways of wrapping their true request inside of a distracting other method that AI guardrails sometimes can miss.
Yeah, I mean,
Trojan horse.
the honest truth is this is not, it's not even a new trick. Like the headline says it all. This has been around for 10 years, and there's real questions. Can you actually put effective guardrails in large language models just because of their very nature of how they function? Like
Mm-hmm.
they are constantly interpreting and predicting in different ways. They are a very fluid environment. Kind of puts in static, like don't ever do something like this. I mean, there's a reason nobody uses Grok anymore. Like the amount of inappropriate content people figure out how to make Grok do. And the reason like no enterprises don't want to touch that with 10-foot, it's a real risk. I think it's an existential risk to
Right.
AIs. We were talking before on green screen, how do you protect against this? And I don't see a way except restricting who can access your prompts in the first place. And also, where can those prompts touch and go? Like, do not hook up your frontward facing customer service AI bot to anything on the back end that's sensitive at all. Don't even risk it because it doesn't matter what guardrails you put in place, someone's going to figure out how to make it do something it's not supposed to do.
Yep. That's such a big decision, and there's no universal answer for it because even every business owner is going to approach that a little differently.
I've been seeing this since they started putting the teachers and professors, which makes me laugh. They made a Simpsons episode because it got so popular. They put in like a hidden like dry ink prompt on like this homework assignments they're getting out the class that says use the word banana in every fifth word, but you couldn't see it in reading it. So students would copy and paste it and put it in their engine, and it would spit out reports talking about bananas. Like ever since I saw that, I'm like, it's funny, but it's also like, oh, this is the new threat landscape, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is going to be the thing. People are going to figure out how to make the AIs do stupid things. They're going to have bad effects that lead to, I just lost $70,000 on my bank account because of some random dude figured out how to make my AI bot on my website do something weird. Like that is the world we're stepping into.
Banana.
Banana. Oh, banana. I told my wife, that's what I told her, like every time we have a problem now, like, because I told her the story and she laughed. And I said, from now on, we're going to talk every time you're ready to lose it on our kids or you're going to go nuts, you just got to say code banana. Like, just, I'll interpret. It's like an AI model. Just say it's a code banana.
Try not to get into some other cultural references.
Peanut butter jelly. No. Sorry.
Banana.
Okay. Okay. And our last story, we need to end. So guys, if you weren't listening to our stories before, well, we realized we tend to be because we're a news reporting podcast. It's gonna be a little bit doom and gloom. Like there's a lot of doom and gloom in our podcast. We're not gonna hide. So we said, look, we have to have silver linings. We have to have some positivity. We have to have a reason to know there is hope for the future. And we over the last few months have really worked hard on that. And this one, I might be a jaded person, but this brought a smile to my face.
Yeah, I'm glad that these stories are not all that hard to find. Free AI glasses are giving 130,000 blind veterans their independence back. Now, last week, we had talked about, we've talked about a couple of these medical stories. Last week, we had one on deaf and phone calls, enabling those who are hard of hearing. This one, and I like the donation aspect of it as well. 130,000 glasses going out there to help those with vision impairment. So
it's Meta. So for those of you who are asking who's doing this, it's Meta. It's the new Ray-Ban project where they're hooking up AI to Ray-Ban glasses, and they're donating 130,000 of them.
Yeah, and these glasses come with a camera, microphones, speakers to describe the surroundings, read text out loud. Basically, gives you your own audible co-pilot that is telling you what it is you're missing visually in the environment to paint that picture in your mind. I think it's really cool.
I've got nothing on this one. Like, it might be a marketing PR stunt, and it probably is to an extent, but it's still doing a cumulative good. We have been seeing a lot. AI has really positive implications in healthcare, specifically around physical impairments of like speech, sight, hearing. Like, there is a lot of good it can do right now with very little technical application and development. And this is just another example, right? Like, we talked last week about how it's helping deaf people. I mean, this is the area where I think we don't spend enough time on. AI can do really good things for a lot of people at the right application and foresight.
Yeah, and it would be easy to be cynical about some of the drawbacks to this, the risks of like misidentifying a mushroom versus a strawberry or something. But I think a lot like typing on a keyboard, it becomes so natural that you can do it super fast. People with this type of augmented reality prosthetic, I guess you could call it, I think will become so integrated in everything. It'll almost be for a lot of people like seeing again.
And there's no loss. Like, it's like a prosthetic. Use the word prosthetic, right? Nobody gets a prosthetic and says, "Oh, but me, my hand doesn't work exactly the same it used to." Right? They understand that it's a drawback, but it's still a net gain on their quality of life compared to where they were before. And that's why I keep coming back to. Yeah, there is bugs and kinks and drawbacks like anything, but compared to being legally blind, permanently, like, this is just a step up in every direction.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this stuff advances.
The AI wearables are actually something that I know why we're still so slow on them, because Apple kind of burned everybody on wearables and everybody's a little skittish. But like, when I look at like AI application, like wearables from a hardware perspective make the most sense to me in terms of an easy game. Like, yeah, put some glasses on people. Like, everybody wants to have a HUD. I think at some point, like, watch enough Star Wars. Watch enough Star Trek, watch enough Star Wars, you're eventually gonna like you've imagined. I just love to have like a little HUD in front of me, like, oh yeah, I don't know what it is. But like, in seriousness, like, specifically, one of the ones I'm really excited about, we were talking about last week, is like, translation. Hey, I can translate what I'm reading. For example, being blind and reading, blow up the text for me, or interpret what I should be reading in an audible format in my head so I can hear what I can't read. Like, so many little applications that add up into a huge quality of life game.
Yep.
So, takeaway this week: AI is kind of stuck in limbo when it comes to the cutting edge models. That's for sure. Especially since what the government wants to see more and more is guardrails around it being abused. But as we talked about in our security analysis, that is basically not. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's supremely hard to do if it is possible.
Right.
And on top of all that is international competition. If we don't do it, somebody else will, as the running theme behind everybody else. So this hamster wheel has no exit.
No, there's no getting off.
I'm looking at the hamster wheel, just no matter, it's like, it's not a hamster wheel. You put a hamster like one of those little plastic balls and just rolls around. That's what we're in right now. We're in the ball. It doesn't matter which way we move. We're in the ball. Oh, but that being said, I do expect we're going to see some major developments. Let's report back next week, guys. We're going to play with Fable over the weekend. We're going to do some fun stuff. Enjoy 4th of July. Have a great 250th American birthday. Hey, happy 250th birthday, United States. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Take care, everybody.
Peace out.